Hey guys, this is Tim from Decoding Panels under the Codex Podcast banner. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you know when we've got this and other great stories coming your way, along with new episodes of the Codex Podcast. All right, ready? Sit back, relax, and let's do this. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Decoding Panels. Now, today we are going to start on another storyline for you, but instead of Batman, we are going to move to the Marvel Universe and focus on the Punisher in his first solo series. Now, this is a 5-issue mini and it's called Punisher Circle of Blood. Credits for this series, or this particular issue rather, go as follows. Now, the writer is Stephen Grant, pencils go to Mike Zeck, inks to John Beatty, colors again to Mike Zeck, and letters to the wonderful Ken Bruzenak. We know that name. He's been in several other Decoding Panels episodes for doing letters that we've done in the past. Now, I love the Punisher. I mean, I can't say that enough. He's one of my favorite characters. Now, in a world full of superpowered heroes and villains, you have Frank Castle, with no powers, waging a self-proclaimed war on crime throughout the Marvel Universe. Now, if you don't know the backstory of Frank Castle, let me go ahead and break that down for you. Basically, a Marine veteran who served in Vietnam, Frank takes his family on a picnic one day and is caught in the crossfire of a mob hit. Now, only Frank survives, and on that day, he becomes the Punisher. Now, that is a very streamlined origin, but most of you should already know. If you don't, that's wonderful. Here's a great place to start with that. So, go ahead and grab your skull shirts. Let's lock and load your eyes and ears, and we'll get ready for some action, Punisher style. Days in Captivity 43. Outside of Rikers Island prison, a hurricane barrels over. Inside, however, a storm of whispers makes the inmates shiver. Hey, he's here. Pass it down. He's back. Pass it on. Here he comes. Huh? Who? They fear the storm coming, just the way I like it. Oh man, it is him. Keep moving. We don't need any trouble. Who does? I'm just like the hurricane outside. There's a calm in my eye, but I'd love to blow all of them away. Inside the warden's office, a young assistant is going over slides and information with the warden on Frank Castle, better known to us as the Punisher. So, this is the Punisher, huh? Very impressive. I'm sure he could give a lesson or two to our own little army, the warden says, his cigar smoke trailing through the light of the projector. Is there any chance he'll cooperate? We don't know. He's always been aggressively independent. Tell me what we have. Well, not much, sir. Just a bunch of things pieced together from news clippings and his military service record. Frank Castle, born in Queens, New York to Mario and Louisa Castiglione. Last name changed when Frank was 6. Served in the Marines, had the rank of captain, was in Vietnam and decorated 8 times. When he comes back, he takes his family out on a picnic. They all get caught in the crossfire of a mob hit. Only Frank survives. Goes away for a few months and then shows up as the Punisher, hunting down criminals. It's all guns and guts from here. He thinks he's waging some kind of war. What makes you think he's not? Or us, for that matter, the warden says. What about that recent episode of madness he had? Drug cause, the assistant says, but not from him. It was pretty bad stuff, but once he came off of whatever it was, the shrink sent him back here. He tests very sane now. So sane it's spooky. You think he's right for us? We've got plenty of time to figure that out. Let's just sit back and see what happens. The prisoners on Punisher's cell block have already begun to talk. Hey, can you hear what they're saying? Yeah, Mule's picking a fight. Is he crazy? Doesn't he know who's in there with him? Shut up, I can't hear. Hey, you up there. Don't think you can turn away from me. Mule is really poking the bear at this point. You came into hell when you were put in Rikers. $10 a week, plus all desserts, and I make sure nothing happens to you. I got pull here, man. Play it smart, be cool, and I make sure you can walk and breathe. Get it? Frank says nothing. Hey, you deaf? Did you hear me? I'm going to burn you, man, if you don't answer. An elbow comes out of nowhere, cracking Mule in the jaw. I like my way, Frank says. Moving into action, his feet connect with Mule next, taking him completely off guard. You're my dog now. You bark when I say you bark, bite when I say you bite, and speak when I say. Now let's get some information. Okay. In the next cell over, some very concerned inmates are trying to listen. What are they saying, man? What are they saying? Would you shut up? I can't hear. Sounds like they're talking about Frisky Martini. Chow time. I was drugged the last time I was here. There's only one way that could have been done. Only one man who could have done it. Special of the day, fellas. Hamburger and macaroni and a sweet potato sauce. This crap again? Don't you know how to cook real food, Martini? The Punisher stands in line, but is not silent. With the way everyone complains, you'd think this food was poisoned. Wouldn't you say, Frankie? Punisher puts out his tray. Too bad they all blame you for the food. A very audible gulp can be heard from Frankie Martini as he puts a scoop of food on Frank Castle's tray. Looking a little green there, Frisky. Anything you could take for that? Frank moves on, information already processing in his mind. He was scared and had every right to be. Fear makes him stupid, and he's too stupid to be working for himself. Somebody put him up to it. Someone that was ready for me to come back here. Frank stops, causing the man behind him to collide with him, knocking the food from Frank's hands. On purpose? I think we can say that is a big yes. Hey, watch where you're going. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Here, take my food, please. Here, take it. I'll clean this up. I want to, really, I do. Inmates can only look on in surprise. Thanks, Frank says, taking the man's food and moving on. Holy smokes, he's alive. I don't believe it. I'm alive. Count your blessings. That doesn't happen very often with the Punisher. Frank sits down, going over more information stored. The drugs were time delayed, worked into my brain, brought back pain and fear from another life I buried a long time ago. Someone's going to pay for that. Martini now knows that I know, and that fear is going to push him right back to the man he works for. The one person in this prison that might be able to protect him. A guard's voice comes over the loudspeakers. Attention, prisoners. Free time will commence in 5 minutes. I repeat, free time will commence in 5 minutes. You gonna be outside, Frisky? An inmate asks as both hang up their aprons. No, there's someone I gotta go see. A guard makes an obvious assumption. You okay, Frankie? You act like the Punisher is hunting you down. Little does he know. D block. Figures. Whoever drugged me had to hate me more than the effort it takes to breathe. I should have known who it could be. He was a crime boss until I shut that down. Handsome, too, until I ruined his face. Jigsaw. The Punisher moves inside. Yo, Punisher! An inmate shouts. This here's a private club, man, and I don't remember anybody inviting you. Yeah, pig, going somewhere? Punisher gives a simple but firm response. Out of my way. They certainly don't like being told what to do. You better watch it. You ain't nothing here. Heck, without your guns, you're just another pig. You know how to off a pig, Punisher? With lightning motion, the Punisher answers directly. You stick it! The inmate is tossed into others, taking a group down at once. Someone with a little too much bravery comes from behind, pipe in hand. Who's next? Punisher says. He gets his response, but so do the thugs. The pipe is taken, and now in Punisher's hands as an elbow goes to the face of one as the pipe swings out, catching another. Still, a third gets a personal greeting with his face and the wall. Bodies of bruised egos and flesh lay all around. Those left standing are scared, unsure of what to do next. Anyone else? Punisher asks. No. You really shouldn't leave lead pipes just lying around like that. Someone could get hurt very badly. The Punisher walks right through, onward to the next. Frank now moves past the guard station, more observations being made in his mind. The guard didn't even look twice. Definitely getting someone else's money. I'll remember that. It's also curious to Frank that he's able to move freely from one block to the other. He expected this. Someone wants him in D block. Overconfident inmates start as soon as Frank enters into the block. Well, looky what we have here, boys. It's showtime. Oh, man, I want a piece when that man's done. I hope there's something left. Punisher stops, his target right beyond those bars. Blood in the water brings out the sharks. They want a show? I'll give them a show. Jigsaw, he says, staring into the cell. Jigsaw sits in a cell, basking in way more luxury than the majority of other inmates get to take advantage of. What's the matter, Punisher? You getting slow in your old age? Frisky was here like 5 minutes ago. That work out with my boys wear you out? I can see that. Jigsaw goes on, making small talk, almost like he and Frank have been friends for years. It's Frisky that states the obvious. Jigsaw, he knows. Of course he knows. He's not stupid, just crazy. Oh, he may look sane, but he bottles all that mess right up, doesn't he? We pop that cork a little, but boys, bottles like Punisher just don't break. It'd be like fighting a thunderstorm with a water hose. Jigsaw's irritation is very apparent now. Well, you got something to say? Just say it. Come on, man. I'm missing my soaps here. Frank gets right to the point. You tried to poison me, Jigsaw. You won't get another chance. You're finished. The nerve of the Punisher. You threatening me? In my own home? You're threatening me? Boys, take him down. They all come out of the woodworks. Frank is ready, but can he take them all? Everybody in here has beef with you. You took down someone's father, brother, or uncle. We're taking some back out of you. Jigsaw is overjoyed. Get him, boys. Hit him. Hurt him. But don't touch his face. Nobody touch his face. The beatdown continues. Frank's body is built like cement, and the inmates know it. They pick him up and slam him against the bars. Hard. That's enough, fellas. I want him awake for what happens next. I want to hear him scream. Jigsaw smashes a bottle against the wall, jagged edges shining in liquid and revenge. Do you remember what you did to me? To my face? You threw me through that window. The doctor said there wasn't enough of my face left to make it look right. Women threw themselves at me. Now look at me. Look at me. The two holding Frank smile with insanity. They've been waiting for something like this. You owe me, Punisher. If I can't have my face, you can't have yours. Get used to this. You'll be seeing me every time you look in a mirror. Unexpected and ill-prepared, the Jigsaw's enforcers suffer pain from Frank Castle. Eyes are gouged and jaws cracked as Punisher grabs Jigsaw's hand, the hand holding the broken bottle. No, what are you doing? Get away from me! The pain starts and Jigsaw knows what's coming. No, you can't. Please, I give you my word, they'll let you walk right out of here. That's my hand. Stop, please. Jigsaw's words fall on deaf ears as the Punisher squeezes harder and harder until the jagged pieces of the bottle break in Jigsaw's hands, making it now look just like his face. A blood-curdling scream erupts from Jigsaw. He falls to the floor, blood puddling underneath him. My hand! Look what he did to my hand! Guards! What are we paying you for? As they begin to move in, another voice, a commanding voice, speaks. Stop! A very powerful man steps out of the shadows. What's going on here, Jigsaw? Is this how you keep my peace? Don Corvello, I can explain. Silence. With your train of thought, there's way more at risk at the moment than revenge. Corvello's enforcer does a little bit of reminding. The man don't tell you twice. Don't hesitate to give him a reminder, if it comes to that, Gregario. Corvello takes a pull from his cigar and assesses the situation before him. And you, he says to Frank, what do I call you? Punisher? You've been here on Rikers causing problems. The warden's doing his own thing, so I need things quiet around here, for reasons that don't really concern you. The escape? Frank says, matter of fact. How do you know? Word gets around here. If anybody turns up with a crimson necktie, especially mine, the warden looks your way a lot harder. The way I see it, you need me alive. Corvello lays it out for Frank. Maybe I should kill you anyway, huh? People talk. Can't have that. Look, Frank says, I don't like prison any more than you do. I'll join you. What? I'm as surprised as you are, Thug. Jigsaw runs in furious. You can't honestly be considering this. He's setting you up. Did you forget the last time he busted out? He gave his partner to the cops. Kill him. I say we make it look like some kind of accident. Corvello doesn't take this disrespect lightly. Gregario, he says. His enforcer grabs Jigsaw and very firmly tells him to shut his mouth. He does. You're in, Punisher. I'd rather have you on my side than behind my back. My plans stay secret until the time comes, but you'll get a truce until we meet again. On the outside. Great, Frank says, leaving. You know where I'll be. Until the time comes. Frank's fate is already being plotted against him as he leaves D-Block. In Frank's own thoughts, he's doing some planning of his own. They used to call Cervello the brain on the outside. Thought big. Whatever his plans are, they do not include me, no matter what he says. Days go by. Nobody bothers me. They don't speak to me, but they never take their eyes off me. They're all wondering if I'll be able to work with them. These animals. Will I join in the escape or will I shut it down? All they can do is wait, just like me. Day 48 of Captivity. A silence falls over the inmates at Rikers. If they speak, it's in whispers. Nobody stares past the wall. It all goes down tonight. A guard moves down the corridor between cells, doing his nightly checks. Gold? Check. O'Brien? Check. Corvello? Check. Gregario? Check. We all know this is just a show. Tower? All are accounted for. Be sure to put me down for breaking up a fight too, okay? It's in your hands now. The guard moves to Corvello's cell. Okay, we're good. Doors are going to open in about 10 minutes. A lot of the guards called in today with the flu, so we're short-staffed tonight too. Just make it look good enough so I still keep my job, huh? Bruise me up a little bit before you tie me up. Unfortunately, trust in this guard from Corvello is also a show. The guard realizes too late before being cracked in the head. Tie you up? I doubt that. Gregario, that silencer you made will work, yes? You said it, boss. Pieces on the board begin to move. Castle, in his cell, his eyes open. Gregario, is it time? The gun is pointed, ready to fire. You are out of time. 3 shots going to Frank, the silencer doing its job to keep those reports as quiet as possible. Mule is very happy about this. You saying anything now, tough guy? Sputters only escape Frank's lips. Mule jumps down, ready to get some payback. Stay alive a little bit longer, eh, Punisher? We got a little score to settle. Mule will not get to cash that check. It seems as though the Punisher is dead. You hear that, fellas? The Punisher's dead! That's it! The signal! It would seem Punisher's death was the match for the fuse that is this breakout. Inmates run from open cells. But, as with all plans from villains, nothing quite goes the way they want it to. Frank opens his eyes, watching. All of them are going? There's this funny thing about silencers. They slow bullets down, even the best made ones. If you're using a homemade silencer, those bullets might not even go through a mattress. But that's how they had to do it. See, I could stop a knife, and a gun without the silencer would bring any guards not paid off. They could get that gun from a bought-off guard, but the silencer? Not so easy. I know how Corvello thinks. Big brain, big thinker. He's got every prisoner on the move. They'll never make it through the yard. Corvello can't own all the guards, so those not paid for will open fire on any prisoners that get into the spotlights. Fine by me. Cuts down on my job. As for Corvello, he, Gregorio, even Jigsaw could make it out all in this mess, but not anybody else. The rest? They're marching to slaughter. I didn't expect it to be this quiet. No alarms? Guards? That means Corvello owns the tower, which also means all the systems are down. I can use that. I could escape with the rest of them, track them all on the outside. I can't do much here, but out there, they're not protected. I could deal with each one of them permanently. But what about the people they could hurt? With their free time, they'd use it to rob, to kill. I can't have that. The Punisher leaps, and Gregorio sees. Oh man, the dead do walk. Change of plan, boys. Time to kill the Punisher again. What? You said he was dead. Oh, he is. He just don't know it yet. The Punisher is moving right along. He's on a mission now. The tower has its own power and air supply. It was built after the last breakout, and it only has one door, in or out. Electronic locks mean nobody gets in there when they don't want them in. From inside, you can see everything. Cells, the yard, hallways, all of it. The guard knows this too. He's coming. Here, I knew it. Corvello's plans are crap. His cash ain't buying me out of prison, and there's no way I'm staying here and dealing with the Punisher. My wife's gonna leave me when she finds out. What am I gonna do? Don Corvello controls the tower. The tower controls the prison. Until I take it, that is. Whoever Corvello paid off is in there, and they're not going to be expecting me. He doesn't even know I'm alive. Well, not exactly, Frank. Frank slams into the door. His thoughts move fast. No point in taking them on. They'll be finished once I take over the tower. It's locked. And I've been seen. There's no real way in. Not that they've thought of anyway. His shoes come off and Frank Castle begins to climb the ladder. Look at him, one of Corvello's men shouts. He thinks he's some kind of bug. Let's squash him like one. Shut up, Gregorio says. The other tower will hear, then we're screwed. Too late. Another shouts as the spotlight shines right where they were moments before. All hide in the shadows. Gregorio is not happy. Punisher's already halfway up the ladder now. How are we going to catch him now? If you blow this, Corvello's going to shut your mouth for good. The guard knows who's coming. Hey, I didn't sign up for this. I know that man is crazy. You hear me, Gregario? Those outside speakers working? I want double for this. You hear me? The other tower calls, checking about noises going on outside. The guard denies, but that won't last for long, and he knows it. His partner, the one he drugged, begins to wake up. What happened? What did you put in my coffee? Mitch, why couldn't you just stay out, man? Now I gotta take care of this. Oh no! Oh yes. The Punisher crashes through the window just in time to disrupt a very bad mistake on top of everything else this guard has done. Get away! Get away! He shouts as the Punisher slams closed fists into him. Gregario is sneaking up from the stairs, the door opened moments before by this guard, now taking his punishment. You're tricky, Punisher. We got tricks too. Gregario grabs his hostage, Mitch. This cop here'll show you how to paint a room red if you don't turn around. Slowly. Sure thing. Training and instinct work well together here. The Punisher whips around, gun in hand, from the now unconscious prison guard as he shoots Gregario in the shoulder. Mitch jumps to the side, hoping he doesn't get shot in any crossfire. The Punisher never takes his eyes off Gregario. Your gun, he says to Mitch. Give it to me. Slowly. Turn all the security systems back on. That should slow down Don Corvello. What about this guy, Mitch asks, beginning to work the controls. What about him? Punisher says in return. Back down on the yard, Corvello, Jigsaw, and a collection of inmates all wait, searchlights scanning the ground for anything. I thought you said those lights would be out, Corvello. How long do we have to wait here? Patience, he says. Gregario is late. It shouldn't be this way. He's probably already out, Jigsaw says. No, Corvello says. Gregario is loyal. He'd never leave me here. We have to assume the worst. The tower is no longer in our hands, but I've prepared for exactly this. As the other inmates are more focused on the spotlights, Corvello and Jigsaw use that to make a hasty retreat of their own. Hey, look! They're taking off without us! Do you blame them? Listen! The sirens begin to sound, loud, long, and terrifying. The inmates know what that means. Run! We've been made! As they take off, trying to escape, guards in the tower above begin to open fire. Put your hands up! They can't kill us if our hands are up! Don Corvello set us up! He knew this would happen! The Punisher watches from the monitors in the tower he now controls. It's funny, Frank thinks, as he watches inmates flee and guards approaching his tower. They always panic. They always beg for mercy when they don't even know what the word means. Corvello is the only one thinking while he's running. But I see him. I know where he's going, and I know who's coming here. Frank turns to Mitch, the surviving guard. Other guards are on their way up here. Keep an eye on these two until they get here. Frank hands him back his pistol as he begins to make his exit. Where are you going? Stop! You saved my life, Punisher. Don't make me shoot you. I have a duty. I have a duty. Inside the prison, near the warden's office, the on-duty guard sees what's going on outside. What in blazes? Instantly, he calls a security tower. I'm securing this area. There are 2 hostiles heading this way. How on earth did they get past you? Wait, what? My God. Get some backup here, now! As the guard pushes the button to close the gates, Corvello shoots, taking him down. The gates! They're closing! Jigsaw shouts as they run. You have no faith, Corvello says. When we have the warden, we can bargain our way out, and with these gates closed, they can't touch us. We've got nothing to lose, my boy. There's nobody alive to stop us now. Oh, is that so? There's what happened to your boy Gregario. Jigsaw has every right to be scared. He knows. You tried to be cute with the Punisher, But he don't play that game. The only thing he knows is death. Shots ring out from Jigsaw's pistol as fast as he can pull the trigger. It's the only way he can be stopped. You're letting your hatred for the man cloud your thoughts. He can't shoot around corners. The gate is locked. Forget about him. Corvello has a point. Frank thinks. The gate has an electromagnetic seal. Once it's shut, it doesn't open back up, unless there's no power to it. Frank takes one shot. The gate's open, and he moves forward. Using his training, he takes his time. Can you feel that, Jigsaw? Corvello? You're cornered. That circle of blood you've had around you is closing in. A shot rings out, hitting the corner near where the Punisher is now. Inside the office, however, Corvello and Jigsaw have now taken hostages. Corvello holds the warden, Jigsaw the assistant. Trying to scare us with words? We have guns. We have the warden and his assistant. Throw your piece in, Punisher, Jigsaw shouts. You want these two to die like your wife and kids? No, of course he doesn't. A moment later, his gun is tossed into the room. Corvello is not convinced. Do you take us for fools? Step into the room. I want to see your hands. Easy, Frank says. I'm here. Now let them go. Ha! Jigsaw shouts. I always figured you for a sap, Punisher. You should have just rushed us. I was out of bullets. The Don's gun was also empty, too. It's going to be amazing to blow you away with your own gun. Jigsaw pulls the trigger without hesitation, but the gun backfires. Pieces of the firearm and gunpowder blasting into his face. That wasn't my gun, Punisher says, and those bullets were too big for it. But you know that now, don't you, Jigsaw? Jigsaw writhes on the floor in pain. He's out. It's just you and me now, Corvello, Punisher says, pointing his gun at him. Oh no, you make one move toward me and the warden dies. You hear me? Fine, Punisher says. If he dies, you do. It works either way for me. Where's your respect, Corvello? Cannot believe this. You'd let an innocent man die? Punisher, I will kill him if you don't surrender to me. Go ahead. Frank Castle aims, ready to shoot. Corvello wavers. His gun slips from his fingers. You're crazy. You really would let him die. What kind of animal are you? His gun falls to the floor. His hands up, Corvello stands as the Punisher grabs his gun. So, what now? We go back to the cells? All the enemies you've made, you know you won't last the night. Punisher, we can still work together. We can still get out of here. The warden helps his assistant to his feet, making sure he's okay. Tempting, Corvello, but you ordered me killed. I don't need you. Corvello is hit hard with the business end of the pistol. Frank, that's enough, the warden shouts. The gun is now turned on the warden. Frank Castle died with his family. I am only the Punisher. I'm not going back into that prison. We're getting into your car and leaving. Now. Officers in riot gear finally arrive, shouting for the Punisher to drop his weapon. On the floor, now! Hands where we can see them! Move it! Easy, boys. The Punisher's here on my account. Are you sure about that, sir? This is the most dangerous man in the prison. If he's coercing you into something... Yeah, sure he is with that shotgun pointed at his temple. All right, all of you, out. I'll take full responsibility for the Punisher. Moments later, as guards clear out Corvello and Jigsaw, the warden's assistant shuts the door to the office. What is this all about? Punisher asks. The warden grabs a cigar. We've been watching you for a while, Frank. Myself and some very important people who share the same concerns that you do. Tommy, bring him the package. Frank, we call ourselves the Trust. The cigar is lit. An explanation is due. Things are getting out of hand, Frank. Especially crime. The police, courts, even Congress. They can't get it under control. So, we figure it's up to citizens like me and like you. Here's the deal. We get you out of here. Not with a pardon, but an assisted escape, let's say. We give you a way to get weapons, information, supplies. You'll have access to our entire network. All you have to do is keep fighting your war on organized crime, just like you have been. No strings attached. Who's in this trust, Frank asks. Let's just say concerned citizens. All kinds of people. It's legit and on the up. We're serious about this, Frank. And no strings attached, Frank asks, not fully sure. None at all. Look, here's your stuff. We put the future in your hands. Frank's eyes narrow. To get back out there. Back to the war. Can I trust them? I've always worked alone. It doesn't take long. Slipping on his glove, he gives his answer. All right, I'm in. Time to get back to the war. Sometime later, on the streets of New York, despite the calm summer air, a storm is brewing on the horizon. The city, the underbelly, knows the Punisher is out. It will be a new day soon. His day. A young man walks down the street toward a restaurant as an enforcer radios to let his boss know of his arrival. Inside, an old man eats from his plate of spaghetti. Tony, nice to see you. Your offer was hard to refuse, Tony says, escorted inside. What do you want, Uncle Charlie? You see this? You see how he talks to me? His father would have never done this. My father's dead, Tony says, taking a seat. That's true, Charlie reaches into his coat pocket. Gunned down, if I remember right, by someone who styles himself a Punisher. You have to become that now, my boy, and avenge your father's death. What? Tony can't believe this. I'm not one of your hitmen. That's also true, Uncle Charlie says. A gun is placed on the table. But you are your father's son. Take this. You'll need it. This is crazy, Tony says. I don't want to kill anybody. I'm going to school to be a doctor. Is this how you honor your father's legacy? You remember his body? So destroyed your own mother couldn't look inside his coffin. He was a good man, Tony. He loved you. What do you love, Tony? It sure ain't your father. A loving son would claim that debt. A good son would make his father's killer pay. Shut up, Tony says. It's empty words, however. Shut up. Just shut up. Through tears, Tony grabs the gun. You're right. I swear on my mother's life, the Punisher is going to pay. In one of the many high-rises in New York, a man that goes by the name Wilson Fisk lives in one of these. Here, the law can't touch him. People can't see what he's doing. He claims he's a dealer of some kind, an investor, an art collector. What he is a liar. He's a mobster, and not just any mobster. No, he rules organized crime on the entire East Coast aggressively. Without him, the families would fall into chaos, killing each other for any slice of that pie. He's an anchor for them. He's their kingpin. Up here, he's exposed, but he's not stupid. Those glass doors could stop a bullet. Maybe he should have thought about grenades. Something's wrong here. The air smells old, dusty, rotten. There's no bodyguards. File cabinets have been emptied out. This room is empty. Well, almost. Kingpin, Punisher says, guns ready. Did everyone leave you when they found out I escaped from prison? Did they leave you to die alone? Punisher moves in, ready for the kill. Kingpin? He says, cautiously. Dead. Right size. Wrong person. This isn't Fisk. I've walked into a trap. There's enough explosives here to turn this entire building into a memory. The dead man playing Fisk's weight was enough to keep the timer from counting down. Now I have 3 seconds. 2. 1. 1 second into my fall, I'm already reaching terminal velocity. 3 seconds now. I've fallen close to the 33rd floor. 4 seconds. Punisher tosses his grappling hook, hoping for the best. It catches, but is it enough? 5 seconds now. The ground is getting close. The momentum from Punisher's fall swings him into the brick of the building. He is motionless. His body is in free fall again, slamming hard into a pile of garbage and boxes. It takes a moment for Punisher to come back to the world. My skin, it's clammy. My pulse is going a mile a second. I have shallow breathing. I'm in shock right now. I can't feel my fingers. Cops will be here soon. I need to get away from here. I can't move my body. My legs, they won't work. Too late. The police are already here. Wait, that's not a cop. One of Fisk's men? Where's my gun? My gun. Where? I'm back in Vietnam. The city I'm in is on fire. Rats running away, trying to escape hell. Mosquitoes all over us, rain pouring down. I just want to get somewhere dry. No, wait. It hurts to move. It was just a dream. I'm somewhere else. Someone's home. Satin sheets. My stuff is here. That's good. When I look through the window, I can see the Hudson. I'm somewhere on the west side. I can smell jasmine in the air and a woman's perfume. Oh, I'm glad you're awake. I hope you like Chinese. You got lucky last night hitting that wall like you did. It took away a lot of your force. The garbage heap in your padded armor saved you from being hurt more than you were. You did dislocate your shoulder, though. I had to put it back into place. Where's the boy? Punisher asks. Who? You were alone, the woman says, offering the food. You need food to regain your strength. You can shoot me later if you still feel the need. Frank is not taking any chances here. You eat first, then tell me who you are. I'm not trying to kill you, she says. Where's your trust? Taking a bite of the food, she does as she's asked. You know, if I were in your position, I wouldn't trust anybody either. My name's Angela. I was on my way home when I saw you climbing that building. I know who you are. I know what you do. I want to help you. You have to let me help you. Frank's response is simple enough. Why should I? She turns away as Frank eats. My father had a restaurant. He didn't pay protection money. There was a fire. My father, my brothers. She turns back to Frank, more forceful this time. Look, I'm a nurse. I can help you. Patch you up when you get hurt. Give you a place to hide. Anything. Everything I have is yours. Everything. Later that night. I feel old. I was too slow today. Any slower and I'd be dead. Today nearly killed me. Old dreams come back to haunt me here. This home. A woman I could love. I lived that life once, until I came into this circle of blood. But that old dream is dead. The only thing I have now is my mission. This war. This is something I couldn't possibly win. The more good I do, it seems like things just get worse. Kill one mob boss, somebody else takes his place. Nothing really changes. I could never get to them all. Now I see a day, not too far off in the future, where I'll be slower than normal, and then I'll be dead. Life will go on, and so will the mob. There has to be a better way for this. I have to find a better way. It's there. I can feel it, like it's right outside of my grasp. I need someone outside of my perception. I need a new perspective. Someone to put me on the right track and back to work. The Punisher makes his phone call, and a man answers. Well, hello there, Punisher. I'm your contact inside the Trust. You can call me Ulrich. Nice job on Kingpin, by the way. Ulrich goes on to answer Punisher's questions, but we're only privy to this side of the conversation. Hey, we dug that thermite thing you did, but you could have left at least some of the body to identify. Oh, yeah, it's all over the papers. We got your back, Frank. 100% guaranteed. The line goes dead on Frank Castle's end. Ulrich seems a little confused by this, but we're not. He doesn't know, Frank thinks, dialing another number. Days go by, and nobody knows, but I can guess why. I thought it was just me Fisk wanted finished, but it's also him, too, so far as the world sees things. I'll work on figuring out what his motives are later, but right now, I'll turn this situation into an advantage for me. The phone rings and someone answers. Ben Ulrich of the Bugle? This is the Punisher. I'm the one that killed Wilson Fisk. Just thought everybody should know. The conversation is quick and Frank hangs up the phone. And so it begins. With just ashes, that's not enough to identify anything, and the mob could care less about that. But with a statement from me, they'll listen, and they'll believe it too. They'll see the empty spot left open from Kingpin's death, and they'll kill each other trying to fill it. They'll be doing my work for me. In the end, the families will be without a leader, broken, and in chaos, and I'll be right there for all of it. Then it'll be over. In a section of Queens called Brownstone lives a man named George Avani. The papers call him Georgie Porgy, but in the rackets, they call him Boss. He sings a song to himself as he picks up the morning edition of the Daily Bugle. Right on time, right at 6. He sees, on the front page, the news about Kingpin's death, and the Punisher has taken full credit for it. It'll take a big man to fill the big man's position, and hey, what do you know? I'm a big man. Georgie Porgy's epiphany stops there, forever, right at 6:02. A mobster named Morgan steps into his private elevator, telling his driver to bring the car around. We're taking over, he says, also gleeful of Kingpin's death. Within seconds, Morgan plummets from any chance at taking his turn. Over at City Hall, a dock racketeer uses the men's room, waiting to testify on a palimony case. By the time they find him, the verdict doesn't even matter anymore. Over on the East River, someone catches what's left of Injun Joe, and finally, in his favorite restaurant, Killer Croesus takes in a little too much sweet and sour Drano. And the body count continues to rise with 17 total so far for the crime families. It seems a headline in today's Daily Bugle sparked this recent and deadly string of violence. The man watching TV turns it off. Madrone, is this how we do things? Do they have to act like kids? There's better ways to handle secession. We need a peace conference. Set it up. Tonight. Charlie, Madrone says, you know these jerks would just as assume kill you if they see you, right? No, I am still Charlie Siciliano. They will listen to me. They will see that we are better off united. All this killing, it's disrupting business as long as it lasts. It goes against everything we've worked so hard for. If it doesn't stop, we'll lose it all. We have to have this conference tonight. It's hard to believe that an old gangster like Siciliano is this naive. They make the word civilized empty. Love and trust, also empty words. Frank types in a search for Angela and lets the computer begin to process. Good, he thinks. I can get on to other things. Even in the early days, Fisk used to go to Charlie for advice. Maybe he does have the clout needed to bring peace. I wouldn't like that at all. The conference might not be such a bad idea, though. If it fails, then trust is gone. Nerves and any pacts are destroyed. No trust, no peace. The mobs will fall. This time, I win. Someone else has different thoughts, but hesitates. No, not here, not in the back. You finish your business, Punisher. Then I'll come after you and kill you to your face, just like you killed my father. We'll have to wait and see on that. War Journal, entry number 1053. I'm in Grand Central Station. It's closed for the night, and everybody has gone home. Everything's clear, Charlie. The floor is yours. All the bosses along the Upper East Coast are here, all in one place. Joyzy Joe, Jack Tanner, Simon Isaka. I could take them all out right now if I wanted to. If you've got something to say, Siciliano, say it. I got dinner waiting on me, man. Watch that lip down there. I could do it, but what good would it really do? They come, they go. The mob moves on. Look at us, boys. Look what's become of us in just a few hours. We have issues with each other, sure. Issues? Issues? Santiago invades my territory, kills my guys, and why? I ain't done nothing to hurt him. You couldn't even if you tried. Let's take this outside right now and see who comes back in. All right, that's enough. If we live like wolves, we die like dogs. We have to preserve the order. The Punisher inches closer. If you destroy the structure, you destroy the mob. I want the structure dead. Suddenly, a hail of bullets rain down on the crime bosses. 2 of them go down instantly. It's a trap! Siciliano set us up! Joyzy Joe is already dead. Who else? Too soon to see. Who did this? Over there, I know that face. Nolo Contendere, a hitman from Detroit. He has a perfect record so far, and I've never had the chance to go after him. I want to know who hired him to do this. He's good. I couldn't have done this better myself. I guess I should thank him for that. The Punisher? Oh, man, I've tried to avoid you for years. Times change, it seems. It's against my religion to do a job for free. But I'll make an exception just for you. Nolo fires and the Punisher evades, diving into a subway car. Killing you will help the reputation in the long run. Nolo got a 4-second jump on me getting into this subway car. Get out of here, now. Punisher says this to the man on the car. He attempts to argue, but sees the error of his ways very quickly and readily agrees. The Punisher moves, gun in hand, ready for anything. Anything, that is, until the car door swings violently open, smashing him in the face. Nolo wastes no time, firing his gun near point blank at the Punisher. Frank goes down and Nolo retreats, thinking the Punisher finished. A perfect shot, right to the heart. Textbook perfect, Frank thinks. He shot me right where I wanted him to. The bulletproofing in my armor is perfect. He isn't. That's why I'm alive. He took my gun. The Punisher gets up, moving after Nolo. A child screams that a man has a gun as he, his mother, and the few others in the car look on. Oh, I see. Your vest. Pretty smart, Punisher. How's your head hold up to bullets? Nolo fires. Punisher dives. People are caught in the middle. One man goes down, hit by Nolo's obvious lack of care for the people on the subway train, or the profession. It's not done, Frank thinks, pulling a knife from his boot. Nolo has crossed the line. Frank tosses the knife with expert aim, hitting Nolo Contendere in the shoulder. Nolo drops his gun. My shoulder! Yeah! Nolo rushes, tackling Frank Castle, the Punisher. He's like an animal, he thinks. Cornered, hurt, dangerous. He's stronger than me. I can't break his grip. I can't. No! I will not lose like this. Punisher's foot comes up, kicking Nolo off of him. His head crashes into a window on the train, smashing through it. An announcement over the speakers talk about their arrival at Times Square and to be very aware of the doors opening. Nolo doesn't get that as they do, in fact, open, removing his head from the rest of his body. Frank turns to the wounded. I need to help them more than I am, but the cops will be here soon. They're afraid of me. I can see it in their eyes. I should say something to them, make them understand. No, they're right. This shouldn't have happened. This war is getting out of hand. The streets smell of fear, worse than ever before. I wanted to end that. What have I done? Frank can hear a news report of a city bus being caught in the crossfire of a mob shootout. I've made a tactical error, he thinks, moving towards his van. Instead of gaining control, it's spiraling out of my hands. I can't stop it, though. This ideal, it's working too well. Things are starting to crumble, but too many innocent people are dying as a result. I'm supposed to protect those innocents. I have to put a stop to this. Someone has other ideas as the Punisher's van explodes right in front of him. Frank looks up from the ground, lucky to be alive. My files, weapons, my home, all gone. Someone found it, and now it's gone. I need weapons and info if I'm going to stop this war. I know who to call to get this. One way or another, this war is going to end. Frank makes his call, and his contact at the trust answers. Punisher, your van? That's too bad, man. Think of it as an omen. It's fate telling you not to work alone anymore. Any thoughts on linking up with the trust for real? It could be the start of a beautiful relationship. The war continues. The circle of blood tightens, and as gang battles gang, family against family, fear runs the streets. I started this war. I'm going to finish it. 3 men walk out of Cafe San Juan, heading toward their car. It's getting crazy out there, Thomas. My runners are getting killed, people getting scared to place any bets. Another week of this and we'll be finished. They continue on, keeping up with their conversation and worries. It's Carlos. It has to be Asaka. I know it. Kingpin kept him from squeezing in on us, but now that the Punisher took the Kingpin out, well, hey, we will survive. My dad told me of the wars going on back in his day, and you know what? They made it through. Peace came. Business went on. We will too. You remember back in '68? Cops and tear gas everywhere, man. Now that was a war. This has always belonged to the Santiagos, and that's not going to change as long as there's still one of us to hold on to it. Bullets rain down from above, and 2 of the 3 brothers are dropped where they stood moments before. Thomas dives into the car, screaming for the driver to speed away. Carlos, Emmanuel, my brothers. Thomas looks out the back window, his fears confirmed. Asaka's men, I knew it. Oh, we'll get him back for this for sure. Louis, we're going to get the old gang back together. Meet Asaka in Germantown, eh? Louis? Someone answers, but it's not Thomas's driver. Louis ran into some trouble. I offered to take his place. No. Oh, yeah. A shot rings through the back of the window, barely missing Thomas and the Punisher. Now, Frank says, before you go pulling that trigger, just remember, I'm all that's between you and those bullets coming after you right now. Why me? Thomas shouts. Speeding around a corner, 2 cars follow behind them in close pursuit, shots coming from each car. I've kept up on you, Santiago, Punisher says, hitting the gas. As criminals go, I could almost tolerate you. You run gambling, loan sharking, but you play it straight. No pimps or pushing. And you keep anyone that does that on a real short leash. A real pillar to the community. The Punisher puts his car into a barricade, and as it begins to tip on its side, he grabs Thomas and bails. The one following may not be so lucky. What? Look out! Turn! Turn! One of the cars crashes into Frank's, the sound of twisting metal and impact heard all around them. Frank gives Thomas Santiago simple instructions with a fist to drive the point home. Stay here. I'll be back. The Punisher takes off, running right into the sight of Azaka's men. The Punisher? What's he doing here? He's crazy. The price on his head will make all of us rich. Run him down. Be my guest, he says, slipping into the open manhole. The pistol in his hand fires, shooting the car from underneath. Gas tanks and bullets make a dangerous combination, and the car explodes. The Punisher climbs out from the manhole, gun pointed right back to Thomas Santiago. That's one you owe me. Time to collect. I saved your miserable life for a reason. You're going to stop this war for me. Thomas draws too. How on earth do you expect me to do that? He shouts. A more important question comes to mind, Punisher says. Just how much do you want to live? I know who you are. You'll just kill me anyway. Why should I trust you? Why should you even trust me? Frank answers matter of fact. Because you're nothing, Thomas. That's why. You know you can't survive a drawn-out war. Hell, you can barely survive crossing the street. I'm all you have right now. Work with me, and you live. Simple as that. Thomas Santiago has no choice. All right, deal. I'd rather work with the devil I know than the one I don't. Punisher grabs him by the collar, driving his point home even further. Don't snivel. Don't whine. It makes me sick. Oh, and one other thing. Never pull a gun on me again. Letting him go, the Punisher begins to move away, giving one final order. Set up another meeting with Charlie Siciliano. I'll make sure everybody is there. How will I get a hold of you? Thomas asks, bewildered. You don't, Frank says. I'll be in touch. I hate all of this. Dealing with Santiago does not sit well with me. It seems corrupt, dirty. I started this war to take care of things. I thought the families would wipe themselves out. Too many of the wrong people are getting hurt in all of this, though, and not enough of the right people. It's too late for me to go after them all by myself. Too many bullets and not enough time. So, I start to grasp at straws, just like Santiago. Frank looks out the window, ever watchful as Angela has tea. Hey, you okay? You know you can talk to me. It's nothing. I'm just tired, Frank says simply. Angela gets up, moving closer to Frank. He opens up, if only a little. It just feels like there's this circle of blood all around me, and no matter what I do, I can't stop it from flowing. I've seen enough blood, Angela. I'm tired of it. Elsewhere, people listen in on Frank and Angela's conversation. Hush. You've taken on a job too big for just one man. Why not bring other people in? This group, the Trust, you've mentioned? Turn that down, one of the listeners says. The Trust is not convinced your plans are moving in any way that's progressive. What say you convince us? Texas? Come on now, Ulrich says. Stopping crime takes time, my man. We broke Punisher out of jail, didn't we? But he ain't joined us yet now, has he? That's all just a matter of time. I mean, We did blow up his van to make him come to us. And plus, with Angela working on him, Ulrich and Texas continue their conversation. Frank and Angela's continuing in the background. Think about this, Frank. All the advantages of working with a group. Pool your resources. Become as organized as the crime you fight against. Think about it. Justice from a committee? Frank says, wondering. There's too much room for bias. Too much room for corruption. Isn't there? I'll think about... He stops, his eyes doing what they've been trained to do. Angela, is there any reason why somebody would be watching your apartment right now? Frank, honestly, you still think I'm some part of a plot against you? No, he says. Just stand here, right at the window. Act like we're still talking. Where are you going, Frank? Frank? Outside, our newfound hitman, Charlie Siciliano's nephew, watches the apartment, a police song playing on the radio. A rock smashes through his car window and he screams. You were there, outside of Fisk's place. What's your angle? Punisher says. A revelation hits the Punisher. Wait, I know you. You're Tony, Mickey Macera's kid. Your dad was mob, but you're definitely not. Why are you following me? You killed him, Tony shouts. You killed my father. Punisher lets him go. Revenge, he says. All right, then. Step out of the car and let's get this over with. No, Tony shouts. Those people you're fighting against, I hate them too. Kill them, and then, only then. Frank Castle knows where this is going. Don't be stupid, kid. If you pull that trigger, you'll be dead and no better than your old man. And so, the circle of blood gets tighter. Later in the day, they kill mine, I do the same to them. They come after me, I go after them. It never ends. Not much I can really do about that. Not until all this blood has been spent. Asaka is on the phone, not liking the conversation he's having as Frank Castle slips in through the window. Another peace conference? Are you crazy? After the last one turned into a shooting gallery, you are out of your mind. Say it, the Punisher says, pointing a gun to Asaka's head. Say you'll be there. He's starting to sweat. Charlie? Yeah, you set it up, man, and, I'll be there. The phone is hung up with shaky hands. Good boy, the Punisher says. You get to live, for now. Oh, one more thing. Tell me all about Coriander. The Punisher slips back out the same way he came in, Simon going on, very rattled. Well, there's not much to really say. I mean, came out of nowhere a while ago and took over Midtown Construction, but you don't have to go find him, Punisher. He's already agreed to a truce. Punisher? Punisher? Frank continues to his next destination. This Holocaust is over, he thinks. There will be peace between the families, and no more innocent lives will be lost. Everybody gets what they need, except for me. Their war may be over, but mine continues. And when it's finished, I'll finish it my way. The Punisher pushes the doors to the restaurant open, slamming into the two guards, taking them completely by surprise. What? Him? One shouts, pulling his sidearm. Put those away. He knows I'm coming. Maybe he does and maybe he doesn't. Yeah, we ain't taking no chances here. If you're the Punisher, why don't you prove it? How we supposed to know you are who you say you are? Oh, they think they're clever. Sounds of a quick beatdown can be heard in this other room. Keep it down out there, will ya? I'm waiting on a phone call. Any of you idiots seen signs of the Punisher yet? Oh, good. You're here. Siciliano never thought we'd get everyone in the same room again, so he's got a conference call set up. Go ahead and take a seat. This'll be over in a minute or two. All right, Charlie, we're all set. Go for it. A gunshot can be heard on the other line. Charlie? His mind moves quickly. Siciliano's dead. He said it was the Punisher? That conference call was our idea, so we'd know where all of you were and when. The hitman reveals himself, gun in hand. Wait, you're not the Punisher? Coriander gives his goodbyes. 3 shots ring out. The real Punisher erupts from another room, shooting the hitman, taking him out instantly. Who is that? Frank thinks, going over to Santiago. Stay still. I'll get an ambulance for you. What happened here? Spitting blood, Santiago talks. Coriander. He set us up. You too, man. You got everyone to agree to this. You said I'd live. You going to keep your promises? Is this how you do it? Santiago's last words will stay with Frank Castle. As he leaves, his thoughts take over. Coriander did what I couldn't. The families are in shambles. It's almost over. I should thank him right before he gets a tighter grip on things. After that, it's just cleaning up. This war will be over soon, and that's all I want. Park Avenue. There's warehouses here, apartments, restaurants. Coriander is here too. The rest of the bosses are dead, all killed by people dressed to look like me. He knows I'm coming for him. He knows I want answers. It doesn't matter. None of you could find him, not a single one of you morons, Coriander yells at his imposters. He's the only thing that stands between me and everything. I want him dead. Do you hear me? Dead. Something else happens. Punisher targets seem to spring up on their own. Huh? One of the hitmen says. The hitmen react, destroying the targets with extreme prejudice. It's not enough. You're all too late. He'd have killed every single one of you by now. Do better. Coriander moves into his office, offering one more bit of advice to his men. You need to be better than him when he gets here. Your lives are going to depend on it. The door shuts, and an Uzi is put to Coriander's head. I've been here for hours. Don't move. Don't even breathe hard. The Punisher grabs him by the jacket. I've kept up on you. You're no boss. You were small time in Chicago, and now, all of a sudden, you're wiping out mob bosses here in New York? There's no way you could have done that. Somebody went through an awful lot of trouble to get you here. Too bad it was all for nothing. No, wait, listen to me. Look, I'm on your side here. We've done more against the mob in 2 weeks than you have this whole time. You can't just toss that all away, man. Not with him coming back. Who? Punisher says, the gun going harder against Coriander. Kingpin, man. He's not dead. You didn't kill him. I know, Frank says. He wanted this war to get rid of the competition and gain more control. If you kill me, that all but assures Kingpin gains control. He'll be more powerful than ever before, and not a thing will have changed. You have a point, Frank says, thinking. If you die, I'd just be helping Kingpin in the long run. I started all of this because I wanted a long-term solution to the crime that plagues New York. But there were too many variables. I'm not good at dealing with long-term, Coriander. I can't let you go. No, Coriander shouts, hitting Frank in the head with the desk lamp. Coriander bursts out of his office, shouting towards his men. Get him! Don't let him come near me. What? Who? The Punisher comes out seconds later. All Coriander's men are dumbfounded. They stammer and stutter, unsure of their training, unsure of themselves. We can't take him. He's just one guy. There's 7 of us. Of course we can take him. Can't we? Don't think, you idiots, Coriander shouts, pushing buttons on the elevator. Just kill the Punisher. You're welcome to try, he says, motioning for them to come forward. Gunshots ring out as the elevator door closes, Coriander pushing the button frantically. Punisher's commentary takes over as Coriander runs. Those men, they all, at the end, had that look, like a mask was being removed from their faces. Terror, panic, and despair were all that was left for them. They knew, in the end, they were like puppets, strings cut. They didn't want to be there. No, get away from me, Coriander shouts, pulling a gun from his jacket pocket. Coriander has that same look right now. Coriander fires, and another innocent is caught in the middle of Frank Castle's war. No, not the kid. Everywhere, it's the kids that get hurt, the children who die. Like my children. This has to stop. Now. Coriander sees what he's done. He didn't mean to hurt a kid. His gun drops from his hand as he runs. The mother screams and the Punisher runs after. This has to stop, he thinks. It's going to stop. As the Punisher crashes out the door, he looks, but Coriander is nowhere in sight. Gone. He can't be. There's nowhere for him to go. Except the alleyway. I can hear crying in the alleyway. Why me? Why'd he pick me? I ain't no crook. I'm not a killer. That little girl. Why the little girl? It was all his idea. He said, take over the gangs. Turn them so he could use them. But that girl, it's his fault. On his hands. Who? Frank asks. Coriander stumbles and stutters. Conditioned. I can't say. Name. It's Ulrich. With that, a gunshot rings out, taking Coriander's life. The Punisher is also taken by surprise. Angela? Frank cannot believe this. You're too sentimental, Frank. We tried to get you to join. We really did. We're fighting a war here. You know that better than any of us. A single shot rings out, hitting Frank Castle. It takes him down. We're all expendable, darling, Angela says, making her escape. Even me. Even you. Angela, no. Not you too. The pain. The wounds are all too much as those last words escape the Punisher's lips. He is down. Manhattan, the Upper East Side to be exact. From where I'm at now, you can see Riker's prison. I don't need to see the prison. I need the warden. The warden and his aide belong to a group that call themselves the Trust. They're a group of concerned citizens that have come together to stop crime. The concept is good. Their goals are solid. Their methods, however, are completely insane. I've been lied to, used by them. They even tried to kill me and have killed too many innocents. They're out of control. Angela's shot to my head was hard enough to put me down and convince her I was dead from a distance. The bullet didn't do what she wanted it to do, however. It did scrape my skull hard enough to give me a headache for the rest of my life. Now it's her turn to be mistaken, lied to, used. I have to stop the Trust. The warden knows how to get in touch with them, knows where they are. I haven't found him yet, but his aide is in the phone book. His aide is right here. Unfortunately, he's just out of reach. It's another one of those Punisher fakes. They've twisted these killers into this sort of twisted version of me. There's no point going after him. I don't need the aide alive. When he did breathe, he was efficient, organized. Even with them killing him, there wasn't any time to destroy his files. Those files can lead me to the trust, right to Ulrich. Ulrich was my contact inside the trust. He's now on my list of enemies. Interesting. No card for him here in the Rolodex. It's been torn out recently. That's fine. I'll settle for the warden. His apartment isn't far from here. I'll be there in no time. It would seem the fake Punisher has the same thought as his gun is currently trained on the warden's head. No, listen to me. You work for me, for us. I'd never betray Ulrich. You have to know that. His words fall on deaf ears. That's not good enough. Ulrich sends his goodbyes. With uncanny quickness, however, the Punisher is here in no time at all. A simple goodbye is said as the fake Punisher is taken out by a report from his Uzi. Oh, thank God, the warden says, covering his head as one problem is dealt with. Another problem, however, still remains. Save those prayers, Punisher says, grabbing the warden by the collar. Why are these men dressed like me? I can't. Frank is not playing around anymore. Fine. Goodbye, then. No, wait, it's Ulrich. This is why I wanted you out of prison, to head up some death squad. We needed men who could kill without remorse, without conscience. Ulrich, he brainwashes. No, he processes these criminals, calls them a natural resource. The Punisher lets the warden go. Where can I find him, he says, digging through a dresser drawer. Upstate New York. He has some kind of estate up there. You can find the address in my book in the middle drawer. The Punisher is ready. Whipping around, he knows what the warden is attempting to do. Don't do it, he says. I know I can't outshoot you, but I will not let Ulrich get to me, and I will not be locked up in my own prison. Get him for me, will you? I think we all know what happens next. Frank can hear footsteps coming down the hallway. Time to leave. 2 beat cops burst through the door, called because of the shots heard earlier. Freeze, one shouts. Oh man, it's the Punisher. Easy, fellas. I don't fight cops. We're both on the same side here. Geez, would you look at this place? Surrender peacefully. Punisher, you are under arrest. You have the right to... Don't bother reading me my rights. Shut up, tough guy. The mayor will pin a medal on my chest for this, and it's not going to get screwed up because we didn't read you your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. You're making a mistake here. Frank says this as they put him in cuffs and take him down to their squad car. The back and forth continues, the cops reading the Punisher's rights and the Punisher saying them right back. He's done this a time or two. Frank, however, has one more question. Have either of you ever heard of the Trust? As they take the ride down to the precinct, the Punisher relays some of what he knows to the cops. Wait a second, one of the officers says after hearing such a crazy story. You're telling me that there is some sort of secret society trying to wipe out all crime in the country, except they all act like some sort of Gestapo and kill anybody that gets in their way? Tell me again how that's not almost exactly what you do. Well, I do dig those conspiracies. Dave, come on now. Tell me you're not buying any of this crap. Dave can't buy anything anymore as bullets rip through the windshield, taking Dave out and nearly killing his partner in the Punisher. The car crashes, and Dave's partner still hasn't fully grasped what's going on. He shakes Dave, trying to get him to wake up, but Dave's last check has been cashed. Grabbing the Punisher from the back, they start to run. Get behind that dumpster. I'll be damned if anybody's taken you from me. They both now see the situation before them. There has to be 6 or more of them out there, and they look just like you. They're yours, aren't they? If I could just get to the radio. Bullets remind him of where he's at and just how far away that radio really is. We're trapped. Call him off, Punisher. You have to call him off or I'm going to shoot you myself. You don't get it, do you? It's me they want. What? No, that means we're... The Punisher pushes his cuffed hands toward him. There's only one way out of this. if you want to live. Do you want to live? What? You mean let you go? I can't let you go. I can't. He thinks, if only for a split second. You promise you'll come right back? You swear? Turn myself back over to you? Sure. Where's my gun? It's in the car. The cuffs are removed. Cover me. It's split decisions now. The Punisher runs. As this officer attempts to call him back, he knows what he has to do. Shots fire from his revolver as the Punisher dives over the hood of the police car, bullets hitting where he was just moments before. As the officer hides behind the dumpster, the sound of bullets can be heard everywhere. And then, just as suddenly, it all goes quiet. He sits for a moment before moving to see. Punisher? Are you there? Punisher? I can't go back on my word with the cops, but I will not go back into a cell. You promised! You promised! I also cannot allow Ulrich and the Trust to go on. This war is never over. Not while these killers keep taking innocent lives. Not while I hunt. Not while this circle of blood goes on. Right on time, Tony, the Punisher says. Punisher? What? Frank gets in, shutting the door. You've been following me for days, just waiting to put a bullet in my head. Here, I'll make it real easy for you. Drive. Hey, this is kidnapping. We're going to make a stop and then head north. There's someone I need to see. Meanwhile, in Ulrich's compound, we hear several people having a conversation. Ulrich, have you seen the paper? Kingpin's alive! He's picking up the pieces you left for him. Mind filling me in on what you were thinking? You told the Trust you planned to smash the mobs, not... Ulrich cuts Texas off. What, strengthen them? Oh, they're in shambles, that's for sure. Everything's still fine and going according to plan, though. I just took some bad advice about the Punisher. That bad advice and his men aren't a problem anymore. Well, Texas says, it still shows that lapse in judgment. Makes me wonder about you, boy. Ulrich jumps to his own defense. Don't you dare do this to me. The Trust was created to defend normal people against forces the government was unwilling to take care of, right? Well, I'm still your best shot at this. Kill the Kingpin, take over the mob, and process them into something that can deal with this country's other problems. Or is it the processing that scares you, Tex? Hey, it's simple. It's humane. Just a little electroshock therapy, deprivation of proteins, psychoactive gas, and some identification therapy. We've got one in the chamber right now. He'll be ready very soon for the Punisher Squad. We see a man underneath them, naked and alone. A voice over an intercom asks him his name, and when he replies that he is Joey Sabo, he's reprimanded with gas, electric shocks, protein deprivation. Simple. Humane. He's asked again, but this time he says his name is the Punisher. Correct. He's met with reward. An electric shock as they ask him again who he is. Punisher, he shouts. He is correct once more and met with the same reward. Another electric shock. Texas and Ulrich watch, though if either really cares is up for debate. Tex begins to light a cigar and Ulrich reaches for the match. You idiot! We're over pressurized gas. Just one spark. What good are these here killers to the Trust, huh? Well, Ulrich says, pinching the match with his fingers, we won't have to worry about any destabilizing elements. We'll just wipe them out. Back to the Punisher and Tony. We've been in the car for 2 hours. And silence. I killed his father. He was mob and needed to die. Tony wants to kill me whenever he gets the chance. What else is there really to say to each other? I understand revenge, though. Tony finally speaks up as Punisher prepares. Hey, is that the place up ahead? Look, I'm not going to make no charge at the front gates. No, you're not. Punisher cracks him in the jaw hard, sending Tony tumbling out of the moving car. Ulrich's mansion is a pinnacle to his world, separated from everything else and only accessible by a bridge. Heavily guarded, impossible to reach. Well, almost. I need a diversion. Hey, what's that up ahead? Incoming! We've got incoming! Open fire! Bullets rain down on the incoming car as one guard shouts for the other to aim for the driver. He does so as the car rolls to a stop and explodes. What did we hit? One says to the other. We didn't hit nothing. They check the car quickly and begin to realize there ain't nobody in there. Little do they know, the Punisher is already on the move. A simple wad of plastique to hold the gas pedal down, along with a short fuse. As the Punisher moves in, another guard notices the commotion out front. Hey, guys, you having a little trouble out there? Want me to report it? The Punisher answers for him. No. A crack to the back of the head removes this fake easily enough. In the dark, I have an advantage, the Punisher thinks. In the dark, I look just like them. Someone else has heard the commotion, though. Hey, what's going on over there? Beats me, Frank says. I just got here. Wait, hold it right there. I know you. I know that voice. That face. A face I ruined. Jigsaw. Yeah, Jig. No, I'm the He should be in prison, in Rikers. His eyes are glazed, wild. I've seen this before, back in Vietnam. Conditioning. Jigsaw continues to ramble, going from one name to the other. He thinks he's me, Punisher thinks, before taking him down. Realization is starting to hit the Punisher. They all think they're me. He turns around, fires at those that have collected around him and Jigsaw. It's enough to start something. I remember. One says this as the Punisher dives for cover. Jigsaw grips his machine gun, beginning to give orders. No! Stay away from him! He's mine! The Punisher stays under cover, formulating. There's too many of them. They're not primary right now, but Ulrich is. I have to get him. I know how. The house isn't far from here. If I put 2 or 3 of them down, that should scare off the rest. No! The tree Punisher was hiding behind explodes just as he leaps to safety. The barrel of the grenade launcher smokes, and Jigsaw laughs. Ha ha ha! Look at him, will ya? It's me, Punisher! It's Jigsaw! I'm coming for ya! There are slivers of wood up and down my body. I'm in pain, but I can still move. I can still get to Ulrich. Inside, however, Ulrich, it's the Punisher. He's here. What? Well, Tex says, that solves my problem. Shut up, Ulrich shouts. How did he get past the bridge? Texas answers that. That don't matter. He gets here, to you. You were right to choose him. Of course, he's gonna kill you. And if he don't, well, that just shows you know nothing about nothing. And the trust is gonna kill you anyway. Ulrich will not stand for threats. Are you threatening me? In my own home? Sick him, boy! Texas runs as Ulrich's dog chases. You aren't going to tell the trust anything. I highly doubt you'll even make it to your chopper. Ulrich turns to Angela. You go. You shot the Punisher. You betrayed him. He'll be out for your blood before mine. Take the Jeep and get as far away from here as possible. Go. What about you, Angela says, hugging Ulrich. Come with me. No, I can stop him here, so long as you're safe. Remember, I always loved you. I'm not the only one trying to get clear of this. Move! Get that contraption there ready! It's Ulrich. No, wait. A guard dog wouldn't attack him. It's somebody else. Someone important. I'm willing to bet important enough that they won't try and take him down. The Punisher runs for the helicopter, hoping his bet pays off. It does. Good. They've stopped shooting. They're confused. They shouldn't be. The Punisher dives, grabbing the lower end of the helicopter. The guard dog tries its best, but Frank kicks it away. They'll all get another crack at me. I'm not going too far. He lets go, landing hard on the roof of Ulrich's mansion below. No sooner than he looks up, he sees Tex's helicopter explode. Ulrich watches this unfold on the monitor inside. Boom. One down, one left to go. As he continues to watch, Frank Castle does what he does best. Crashing through an upper floor window, he takes out one of the guards easily enough. Pretty neat bang, huh? Just like your van. The Punisher hears this over the intercom. Frank looks to a monitor and sees Ulrich. It was you? Yeah, it was me. I thought it would bring us closer together. Oopsie. The Punisher is enraged. Let's join forces, Ulrich continues. We're on the same side after all. Frank shoots the monitor, destroying it. That doesn't matter. Ulrich can speak through the entire mansion. He continues. Don't act like a kid. You can't destroy all of those monitors. Let's talk for a second. Frank moves, and Ulrich continues. You need us. You know it. Look at this one-man war you're going on. Be realistic here. How much can just one man do? Another monitor destroyed. Think about it, Frank. You need a team. Imagine, with everything we have, just think of everything you could get done. Think about it, man. Another monitor down. Just look at what we did with the Punisher Squad, man. They were killers, all of them. Waste of society, and we turned them into something useful. They do your job now, thanks to me. I changed them, redeemed them. A trapdoor activates and the Punisher falls, hitting the floor below. Just like this place here, Ulrich says. Jigsaw, Coriander, I help them all. It's quick, easy, relatively painless. The Punisher receives his first taste of re-education. You'll see. And hey, you know, once this is all over, I think you'll even approve. Gas starts to fill the chamber. As the gas fills, Ulrich's voice is the last thing Frank Castle hears. The thing is, Frank, we need you. You need us. You're perfect to lead this squad. You always were. But here's the thing. If I can't get you to do it willingly, well, I'll just take you any way I can. Upstate New York. I'm in the fortress of a man named Ulrich, one of the top people in the Trust. He's somebody I trusted and helped me right into this trap. The Trust and I have the same goals: elimination of crime and the punishment of all criminals. The difference between them and me is they want it done fast, and they don't care who dies along the way. The room I'm trapped in right now, it's made to control their puppets, turn them into slaves. They'll try to make me do things their way, or no way at all. Inside the control room of Ulrich's mansion, I know you can hear me, Ulrich says to Frank as these events begin to unfold. I wish you didn't make this so necessary. You should have seen things the Trust's way, instead of acting like you are now, some solitary warrior. But I think, after a little bit of processing, you'll come around. You'll see things our way, do things on our terms. The Punisher's mind starts to formulate. So, it's the gas that does all the processing. It can't do its job if I don't breathe it in. The Punisher pulls off one of his gloves, making a makeshift filter to breathe through. Slipping a knife from his boot, he goes to work. Meanwhile, Ulrich watches. It doesn't matter, Punisher. You'll breathe that gas in soon enough. I wonder, though, can you stand all those electric shocks the floor is giving you right now? Ulrich's confidence begins to waver, but Frank's is not. The gas clouds the room, obscuring whatever Frank Castle is doing. Ulrich's mind begins to race. Why doesn't he go down? Wait, his boots. They must be insulated. That's why the shocks aren't doing anything. In the chamber, Frank goes to work. I've seen rooms like this one before. Back in another war, when I was a different kind of soldier. Usually, if you were put into a room like this, you were stripped down, everything taken from you. Ulrich's a fool. He dropped me in here with everything. My guns, my gear, all of it. That's a huge mistake for him. The gas coming in here being pumped is under pressure. If I block that and let the pressure build, why, if it had some sort of sudden release, it'd go off, just like a bullet. A massive explosion rocks the mansion as the wall to the room the Punisher is in crumbles. Taking that wall out also took out the power. Good. The Punisher emerges from the mist, gun in hand, only one person on his mind. Ulrich, I'm coming for you. Suddenly, his arm is grabbed, the gun swung violently from his hand. Frank lets out a scream, part in pain and part in surprise. It's one of those goons from the Punisher squad, he thinks. Brainwashed thugs that had their identities taken away and made to think they were me instead. All but this charming individual, Jigsaw. I broke up his rackets and destroyed his face. I understand why he hates me so much. That hate broke his processing. He knows who he is, and he knows who I am. The rest of the squad doesn't care. They're just enjoying the show. The knock from Jigsaw takes the Punisher down, but not out. Seeing his gun, he makes a desperate reach for it, but Jigsaw disagrees. His foot slams down on the Punisher's hand. "What's wrong, Punisher? Your arm hurting you?" Jigsaw grabs and twists. "Don't feel too good when I do it this way, huh? Ulrich's girl told us all about how you dislocated your shoulder when she had you stashed away, right after you set up that mob war that took most of us out. I told you, Punisher, I was going to make you pay. I was going to make you scream. So go on, scream!" The Punisher is down. He's hurt, barely breathing. Jigsaw picks up his gun. "Come on, scream. If you scream, I'll put an end to all of this. If you beg me, I might just let you live. Just one scream, Punisher, and all this will be over." Jigsaw points the gun at the Punisher. "Don't hold your breath. You..." The Punisher whips out his knife, stabbing Jigsaw in the leg. A howling scream erupts from his lips, the gun firing, missing Frank Castle by inches. "My leg!" he shouts, the gun going off again. Frank stabs again, this time in Jigsaw's other leg. The goons can only stand there and watch. Jigsaw screams, begging the Punisher to stop, but it's for nothing. Fist after fist comes down, and the Punisher takes Jigsaw's gun, using it to bash into his face. Jigsaw can only beg and plead more. "Get off of me! You're crazy!" Frank's eyes have murder in them. Maybe I am crazy, but it's my kind of crazy, not yours. Not Ulrich's either. No, this is mine. The kind of crazy that gets this job done. Frank looks behind him, the Punisher squad standing there in awe at what they just saw. "You guys still here?" he says simply. "You still want a piece of me? Be my guest." They all drop their weapons and run. I can't say I blame them, the Punisher thinks, as he moves on. Meanwhile, back in Ulrich's control room, he's seen all that just happened. "No! They can't just run away. They're better than him. How can they do this? I can't. I won't fail." Ulrich turns to his two goons. "You two, get down there and put an end to this. Show the rest of them how it's done." "Hey, wait a minute. Take your guns with you. What are you doing? You fools! Cowards! Get back here!" "Don't leave me here alone." Ulrich reaches for one of the dropped guns. His mind is racing. He's coming for me. I've got to protect myself. Punisher just doesn't get it. The Trust wants the same thing he does. Our way is better. Can't he see that? We'd have ended this a long time ago using those criminals. Ulrich turns, fear in his eyes. Hiding on the other end of the open door, he waits. I haven't heard him yet. Is he here? Getting closer? Silence goes on for what seems like an eternity before he sees a shadow. He's here! The butt of Ulrich's gun swings into Frank's gut, doubling him over. Frank's chin is connected with next, followed by a hit to the back of the head. No! Ulrich screams, not letting up, hitting the Punisher again and again until he goes down. Ulrich staggers back. Is he dead? He has to be dead. There's blood, not mine, all over me. Dropping the gun, he runs. In his room, he hastily begins packing whatever he can, formulating some kind of plan also. Angela, I'll meet up with her. We'll go away somewhere far from here. Underground, deserted, somewhere the Trust or the cops could never find us. As he continues to frantically pack, someone speaks his name. Ulrich. No, it can't be. Frank Castle, the Punisher, levels his gun, ready to fire. It's over, he says. You're finished. A growl can be heard, giving Ulrich time enough to grab a gun of his own. Am I? I am not alone. Oh, no. And I've got my gun now, too. He's my dog, you see. Mine. Just like Angela. Ulrich is correct. I've seen what Angela and his dog can do. They're both loyal, trained killers. One way or another, Punisher, you're dead. If I go for Ulrich, the dog tears me into shreds. If I shoot the dog, Ulrich has me dead to rights. I can't win either way. Punisher fires, hitting Ulrich as the dog comes in for the attack. The Punisher is quicker, however, as he knocks the dog to the side. Unless I change the rules, he thinks. The dog hits the floor and the Punisher begins to move in. Ulrich begs for his life. No, please don't kill me. The Punisher levels his gun, and Ulrich continues to beg, tears coming down his face. Please, he cries. The Punisher has other ideas. Make a phone call, he says, tossing the receiver on Ulrich's bed. You're not going to kill me? Oh, I sure am, unless you make a call. What? A call? Lots of calls. All the newspapers. Start with Ben Urich at the Bugle. Good guy as far as reporters go. Tell him everything. Names, numbers, figures, all of it. You are going to take the Trust down for me with the truth. Once everyone knows who they are and what they've been up to, they're finished. It's what they deserve. But they'll kill me. If you don't do this, I will. You sing loud and fast enough, they'll either leave you alone or you can bet they'll get punishment for anything they do to you. Just like the scum they are. Do it. Or, leveling the gun, Ulrich sees. He knows that the Punisher means exactly what he says. Bang. I don't have to stick around to know that Ulrich is already dialing as fast as his fingers can move. If I can get him once, he knows I can get to him again. He's not much good to anybody now. Take away everything from him. His goon squad, guns, toys, and what do you have? He's a joke. He used that gun as a club because he doesn't have the sense, the spine, to pull the trigger. What he'll never figure out is, though, I owe him. Since the day my family was killed, my answer to all of this has been through the barrel of a gun. That mob war was a result, and too many innocent lives were lost because of it. Maybe things would have been different if they went my way, the way I wanted them to go. But the Trust had to get in the middle. Their answer to problems, big and small, bullets. I found who they wanted to find, for them, and they killed them. When I started to show signs of turning, they had Angela, who was set up as my only support, try to put a bullet through my brain. This whole thing has been a mess. Ugly. They wasted a lot of good people and energy, and they failed. Maybe, through all of this, I've learned that maybe there are times when you can just walk away, not kill. Maybe there are times when it's better to do that. At this moment, though, I wonder if I even have the opportunity. Tony holds his pistol, ready to fire. I told you, Punisher, after you took all of them out, I'd be here, waiting. I'm gonna kill you now. Tony Siciliano was a good kid, med student, but someone in his family convinced him that he had to take revenge for his father's death. I wonder if I can convince him of what I just figured out myself. You killed my father, Punisher. You have to pay for that. The gun is point blank now, center mass on the Punisher. So, you hate criminals, you say? Well, what about your father? He was a liar and a cheat all his life. A pimp, a pusher, a murderer. Anything he didn't want to do himself, he told others to do it. He deserved everything he got. So do you, Tony says. You're a killer too. Yeah, but I can afford to be. You see, Tony, I've got nothing to lose. With everything that's happened here, that's finished. If you pull the trigger now, sure, your father is avenged, but the war still goes on. You kill me, if you can, or I'll kill you. Then one of your brothers or somebody from me starts the cycle all over again. They get killed, avenged, on and on. Any death from this moment forward will be on your head, not mine. Or you can put that gun down and go on with living, not killing. The choice is yours. Tony makes his choice as the Punisher walks past. Damn you, Tony says. Outside, a storm is in full force as the Punisher and Ulrich's former guard dog begin their walk. They pass the burning wreckage of Texas's helicopter. Yeah, damn me, Frank says. It's going to be a long walk home. At the end of the bridge, Angela waits for Ulrich. There he is, finally. I hope he made some reservations, or we'll just have to wait till we get to the airport. Either way. Wait, it can't be. Not him. Not now. No. Angela shouts this, hitting the gas and heading straight for the Punisher. I'll kill you! The Punisher fires, hitting the car exactly where he wants to, right in its radiator. Steam shoots up, obscuring Angela's vision as she swears and slams into the side of the bridge. It all comes to an end, Frank thinks. This game, right on the edge of oblivion. Angela knows her situation. The car rocks back and forth with each move she makes. The car, it's slipping! She sees the Punisher and begs, just like the rest. Help me! You have to help me! Look, I'm sorry for everything I did to you. I'm sorry. Please! Angela, Frank thinks. Ulrich's girl. She worked for the trust. I could help her, but what I told Tony isn't such bad advice. Sometimes you're just better off not doing anything at all. Okay, guys, thank you very much for sticking through all of this and enjoying this story as much as I did reading it to you. I had a lot of fun doing the voices with this. Jigsaw was one of my favorites. Punisher doing Punisher, that's a dream come true right there for me. And overall, you know, I want to say that the story is great. I love the action in the story. I love the pacing for that. I think it's really good. Mike Zeck's artwork is absolutely fantastic. The writing is wonderful for each individual issue. However, I think that the overall arc is kind of lacking there because you do have the trust in the background and the Punisher's war on crime with the mob and all that stuff, but it just kind of falters for me from issue to issue. It almost feels like each issue could really serve as its own standalone instead of an overall. But issue 5 comes in and ties everything up pretty nice. The fight between Punisher and Jigsaw is great. I love that from issue number 4. I thought that was fantastic. The car chase scene I thought was really good. That was one of my favorite parts to do. So overall, I think from an objective standpoint, this gets a 6.5 out of me out of 10. But from a fun standpoint, it gets a nice solid 8.5 for fun factor. So yeah, if you guys loved listening to this story, go ahead and check out one of the other full stories that we did for Batman White Knight. You will not be disappointed with that either. Once again, guys, if you liked and saw what you heard here today, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and like this video so that way you'll know when the next episode of Decoding Panels comes out. Once again, my name is Tim. This is Decoding Panels under the Codex banner, and I will see you next time.